fuck got my back? Shit. I've been on my own for a long time, so I don't give a fuck anyway. And if you feel like me, nigga, shit, do your thing. Fuck what everybody else gotta say. Who had my back when I was facing my fears? Who had my back when who had my back when I was trapped in my sin? I was locked in the pen. When I went out on the road, who had my back when I went shit doing shows? You the same, but you just change your clothes. And life's a bitch and that's just how shit goes. My mama told me to be a man. I thank you for that. And I get the Lord my life today just to the back. That's why I'm trapped in the streets. Sell it crack, so my family need and put clothes on their back. And I've been grinding since 94, ain't no turning back. Chemo taught me the game, and then we dropped the track. He told me hustling is hustling and I don't need crack. Make my money off music and watch a high stack. Since I'm past 94, whole lot of years ago, don't know which way to go. But the drama tank can't feel my pain, most of my niggas switch up and bitches change too. But whatever you do, black, don't let them change you. I love being loyal, so I remain true. Live your life how you live, shorty gon' do you. In the end, you the fool. You didn't play by the rule. God gave you the gift of gab too, but you use your tools. Who had my back? Facing my fears. Who had my back with my face covered in tears? Who had my back when I was trapped in my sin? Who had my back when I was locked in the pen? Who had my back when I went out on the road? Who had my back when I went shit doing shows? You the same, but you just change your clothes. And life's a bitch and that's just how shit goes. One within line, between hate. I never trust you again, show me your love is fake. I keep my grass cut so I can see my snakes. Black, I see you coming and I'll avoid your way. Ape shit finna get out, them crackers bam free. Engaged 75 years, down they left for dead. The way I keep on losing make me wanna from there. So I keep my tool and my vest, no more selling for lead. Red box never change up, then you wanna switch the game up. You the one who fucked that love up. Bitch turn to black about trust, try to flame so ain't no more. Thought you love, believe just love. Wanna let you go, but I must. Before you got that pussy that nigga shot up. Now I'm sick and tired of fed up. Cause smart, I got my bread up. Pray to God I kept my head up. If not, I would've been fucked. Cause smart, I got my bread up. Pray to God I kept my head up. If I would've been fucked. Who had my back when I was facing my fears? Who had my back with my face covered in tears? Who had my back when I was trapped in my sin? Who had my back when I was locked in the pen?
Try to get used to it. Yep, there we go right there. Overlay chat, take that off so I can see my camera. Mic check. Y'all can hear me out there? Comment in the chat if you can hear me. Comment in the chat if you can hear me. Y'all don't forget to like, share, subscribe, join the fam. You know what I'm saying, man? It's something new, man. Trying to do something positive. But without further ado, I'm going to start this thing off like this. You see my topic, what it says, man, how the government secretly destroyed black families. I'm gonna start the video, first video off a hype comedy, man. You see the title. Without further ado, I'm gonna let it rock.
For Hype Plus News, I'm Michelle Woods. Black people in America have long worked to lessen the gap between whites when it comes to building wealth. Slavery, redlining, and even the family dynamic within the home have all played a role in making the task more difficult to complete. Government assistance was created in the 1930s to solve a temporary issue. However, society showed that these benefits could be necessary long term. As time has gone on, government assistance became a mainstay in many black households to help make ends meet. With many of the black homes receiving government assistance being headed by single black women, questions questions come into play about just how beneficial this would be for Black people. There's no denying that Black people live in poverty at higher rates than whites, and that government assistance does help with food, rent, and other necessities each month. On the other side of the spectrum lies the issue of broken homes and the poverty that comes from receiving government assistance, ironically enough. Considering both sides, the million-dollar question becomes, if government assistance ruined the Black family? Like many things, government assistance was given sparingly, if at all, to Black families in the early 1900s. In 1935, following the Great Depression, President Franklin D. Roosevelt established the Social Security Act of 1935 with intentions of assisting the elderly, dependent children, and those who had lost their jobs as a result of the Depression. Despite the fact that Black families were clearly more impoverished overall, the assistance given out overwhelmingly went to white families. Information taken from the child support hustle revealed that with the New Deal, state legislators began to pass bills that supported single mothers called Mother's Pension. Since the states operated these programs, administrators were not regulated by federal government. The lack of governing of the Mother's Pension program meant that states could deny services and money to qualifying Black mothers. This aspect of the law caused great issues as it would set the precedent for caseworkers and states to set forth even more provisions in order to keep Black families from receiving government assistance or giving up something of equal value in order to receive such help. While the practice was illegal with no penalty for continuing it, the tactic became more common, allowing caseworkers to essentially control people's lives.
That's basically what's going on now for a young mother who really don't have nothing to get food stamp. You got to have all these people all in your business just to get assistance, but it shouldn't have to be like that because, you know, in the Black community, we need assistance too. But at the same time, they're making our families weaker because it's people who would rather get this assistance than go out to get a job. It's like that because they trained us to be that way. Because in order to get food stamps, you can only make so much money. You can only, you know what I mean? For every so often, let's say if I got 5 kids, I work to try to pay my bills. We ain't worried about food. But if I make too much, they'll cut all my food stamp off versus just deducting from my portion. So none of my kids won't be able to eat because I'm working to try to make ends meet. But back to what we own, man. Like I said, man, it's a lot of reasons this is called strategic chaos, organized chaos, man. This was designed like this. Until we wake up and stick together as a people, we're going to always be in this hole. But back to the video.
Rules regarding a suitable home were enacted without giving Black people a clear idea of what that would entail. In the South specifically, Blacks saw great pushback when it came to receiving government assistance, with states posing stipulations that discouraged the complete Black family. Alabama is one state that stands out as the state independently submitted a plan in 1964 about a substitute parent rule that...
I don't know why it's buffering. Y'all give me a second. It always do that every time. Do it like this. Maybe that'll give me some justice. Y'all give me 1 second.
That would effectively harm Black families specifically. Aspects of the proposal stated that a child would have a substitute father, hereby disqualifying their home from receiving government assistance if the substitute father lives in the home with the child's mother for the purpose of cohabitation, if he frequently visits to cohabitate with the mother, or if he does not frequent the home but cohabitates with the child's natural or adoptive mother elsewhere. These facts are telling as they show a direct attack on the Black man by giving an ultimatum of them being in the home, even for a short period of time versus receiving help. With the Black lowering from the 1960s on, cohabitating was common throughout the country. While again, there could seem to be benefits in this way, statistics have proven that the creation of these single-parent homes for the type of legislation has a lasting impact. These new laws, beginning in 1964 from Alabama and other states, paralleled the passing of the Great Society laws passed in the same year that saw government assistance change, possibly for the worse. The Institute of Family Studies sheds light on this fact, stating it was estimated that in 1975, a household head would have to earn $20,000 a year to have more resources than what could be obtained from Great Society programs. In today's dollars, that's over $90,000 per year in earnings. That may be a reason why in 1964, only 7% of American children were born out of wedlock, compared to 40% today. One can see through this tactic that the government purposefully incentivized these women to have more children out of wedlock, as the type of money being offered, even in more modern times, is...
See, they don't want the truth to get out. See, it start doing this when truth start to come
hard
out.
to come by as a salary for anyone, much less a Black man or woman. In the early to mid-1990s, Black households saw a peak when it came to fatherless homes, as nearly 70% of Black families saw this as their reality. This number had remained relatively unmoved for decades before dropping back down, and there are still government programs and benefits that people know they could be in danger of losing due to other people. There have even been several Black women refusing to get married in fear of losing their benefits, as they will receive more money personally from the government than they could from a job and not having the man present. On the other side of the spectrum, however, statistically, these homes still end up with children living in poverty, as marriage, according to the IFS studies over time, will position these families to have more money and be able to survive long-term, as the two incomes, even with the women's lowering, over time would position these families to maintain.
Conspiracy. Okay. In the way that perhaps history isn't a deliberate conspiracy.
Y'all see what they say, man.
To justify the creation of a police state. That's one of the things that the war on drugs has done. You know, that because somebody privately in their own home is smoking a certain substance, the police have the right to break down the door of that home, arrest that person, humiliate them, take them off to prison, and ruin their lives. And the ideology that accompanies it says, and this is okay, because taking drugs
is bad. Taking drugs is bad, but most of the big doctors and lawyers and, you know what I mean, all the big wigs, as we call them, most of them do drugs.
This is a bad thing.
That's what we've been taught, you know, for so long. I think that.
Now, give me 1 second. It's buffering. Give me a second.
It's partly in the interest of Big Pharma to keep the control of these consciousness-altering medicines in the hands of Big Pharma. And it's interesting with the growing legalization of cannabis in America. It's not going to be long before we see Big Pharma stepping into that marketplace as well. I'm trying to take it over. The tobacco companies are already starting. They've already started.
Yeah. What do you see with the legalization of cannabis in many states in America? There's talk of psilocybin being legalized in Oregon. I don't know if that's going to happen. What do you see? Because we are seeing a change. What do you see we need to keep looking out for in those changes? Well, first of all, anywhere in the world that takes away draconian, unnecessary laws and says to people, actually, what you do in your own home, as long as you don't do
is none of the state's business. I have to applaud that. I have to applaud that. And I have to applaud the American people, state by state, who refused to put up with the bullshit any longer.
That's why they taking so long to legalize the marijuana in Alabama, man. That's the part they don't want to tell y'all. See, they making money off of the same weed that you selling on the streets, but they're making a little more because they can tax it. You know, it's just like Sam's Club and Walmart, they're wholesale. So they can sell a whole bunch of nothing for a little bit of nothing and still profit. But when you're on the street, it takes you a lot to get to that level because you got to start from somewhere. You know, you got to get your re-up, you know, you got to get your clientele. And if you do a mobile, you got to drive back and forth. If you're doing it at a spot, you got, you know what I'm saying, things that you got to do to keep that thing going. Just like any other company. You feel what I'm saying? So America found a way to capitalize off of the hustle that we had in us. You know what I mean? We started this entrepreneurship. They called it hustling. Well, that's all hustling is. Being an entrepreneur.
And who've taken it about something Americans are brilliant at. Brits are not good at is this domestic level action, getting things done at the local level, getting things changed. And with the state system in America, you can do that. You can actually have a ballot proposition. People can vote, and lo and behold, the laws change. I just read recently that California has just gone through the process of expunging almost 10,000 criminal records, unnecessary criminal records, people for possession of marijuana. You know. The great thing about that legalization is they're no longer burdened with that criminal record. And the message is being sent to the big state that actually the inner sanctum of an adult's consciousness is none of the state's business. None of the state's business at all. And actually the state will pay a price if it makes it their business anymore. So I think it's a great thing that America has done that, and the American people have done. This is not the American state that's done this. This is the American people, state by state, making decisions for themselves, asserting their sovereignty over their own bodies, their own health, and their own consciousness. And that's a big wake-up call, because nobody was really thinking about the war on drugs that way before. That actually is an intrusion on individual sovereignty. It's an abuse of human rights that is going on there, and that's the wakening that's taking place. And as a result of that wakening up, the right of the state to intervene in our private lives is being questioned in lots of areas. You know, the state has to stay away from many things. So I'm in favor. Of course, there are dangers, and you know, big pharma, the commercialization, entering this arena. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
See, he like me on that. I don't know how to feel about that. You know what I mean? Because they just basically came in and said it was cool for some people because, you know, the pharmaceutical company have been selling weed for a long time and getting away with it. But if people losing their lives over just trying to provide for their family, you know, I'm gonna go over this again. The first way they did it was they introduced the welfare. But in order to be on welfare, you can only make so much. And you can't have a brother who's out here trying to provide for you in the house. So what happened was when you take the fathers out the house, you take the strength out the house. Because unfortunately, the man is the head of the household because that's the relationship that God gave him when it comes to that household. But at the same time, man, you can't expect her to follow you if you're not man enough to lead her. And you can lead them both ways, either in the right direction or the wrong direction. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, hold on, y'all give me a second. I'll pull this back up real quick. I got one more, but see, the first one was welfare. The second way they did it was the war on drugs. The war on drugs was the second way that they took the man out the house. Last but not least, it was the child support. You know, you don't have to tell a real man to take care of his kid, no way, because he's going to do that. He's going to do that, a real man. But sometimes some of us think we're real men, but we're boys and little men and real men in men clothes. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. Cause I can't see how you could have a child and not take care of the child. I never understood that. With that being said, I'm gonna run this one. Give y'all a little insight what's going on. It's gonna tell you the definition and why child support was made.
We here today, man, on some real shit, man. The child support fracture relationship between black man and the black woman. But before anybody talks, I want to give people a brief overlay on this child support shit. So the name of the system is called child support. Force a lot of people knew that. You feel? That's the name of the system. It started in 1965. You feel me? And yo, a lot of people I know, this made me speak on a lot of people I know, man, has been struggling with this system, man. And it's a big debate, yo, about how much did this affect our community. You see what I mean? And that's why I want to bring everybody together, people from all different walks of life. And you know, we gonna get to the bottom of this shit, man. Try to figure this shit out. I don't want to be no argument. You know things can get.
Shout out to Keep It G News, man. That's where I got it from. Y'all go check them out, man. They got a lot of good shit going on. Back to the video.
Tense. You feel me? We dealing with shit like this, but we gonna try to reel it in and do it the right way. So I'm gonna say this. See how you feel about child support?
Don't ask me first.
Yeah. How you
I honestly feel like, well, for me,
hold on, y'all. Give me a second.
I live in Georgia. I couldn't get a divorce from my ex-husband without having a child support agreement between me and him. I only got a kid. But when it came to the separation, you know, when you have a two-family household, that means you got two incomes, so everything is taken care of. So when I was single and he was taking care of everything on my own, and my issue with it is, it doesn't have to be enforced as you say, as long as you keep your word. If you tell me you're going to give me $200 a week, make sure you do that, so that way we can be good. But when you don't do it, that's when enforcement comes into play, and they hold you accountable. I don't personally like white people in my business, although I identify as a strong white woman. I feel like we could work it out, but when you don't hold yourself accountable, we still got to figure shit out, because guess what? Baby still got to eat and need it. My opinion on child support is only necessary when you're not holding your word as a man. And at the end of the day, when they put your ass around, all you ever had was your word. That's my opinion.
So when you filed a divorce, they told you this was something that you had to do, like it was like a part of the deal or something?
Yeah, you have to. In the state of Georgia, and most states agree on if you keep the child, whether it's man or woman, you have to agree on what portion the other person contribute to support of the child. Now, I didn't have to put him on enforcement. The reason why he went on enforcement was because he wasn't doing his part. We agreed to X amount, but you weren't paying it. So I had to get a third party involved so I could get what I needed to take care of my kid. My child came from over $100,000 household, so I needed the support so he can maintain his lifestyle as well, but you didn't want to do it, so I had to get assistance. It wasn't like I was trying to personally be malicious to also need to do your part. If that.
See, now if you're not doing your part, your ass need to be on child support. Your ass need to be on child support because first of all, she didn't make the child by herself, brother. I know y'all gonna be mad at me for saying it, but it is what it is. She didn't do it by herself, so see, you should be man enough to at least take care of, you know, your responsibilities. But back to the video.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So Shamika, you coming from a different version right? So you might got a whole aspect on, you know, things might run. That's for the United States though, right?
It's a U.S. territory,
yeah.
Okay. So how you feel about just the overall aspect of child support and, you know, what it,
honestly, I feel like child support, well, like basically what she said, it don't have to be where you get involved and you have to pay and take money out your check and all of that, but and I don't have kids, so I don't know how it is with, you know, stuff like that. But I feel like if you being active and participating and doing your part, you know, giving enough to provide a life for them, then really your child support ain't needed. But if you ain't sticking to what you say you're gonna stick by, then that's when it's like, all right, you're not doing your part and I'm taking a load. It takes 2 to raise a child. So
Sorry. How you feel, baby?
Nah. I mean, everybody's situation is different, right? No, I don't think it's needed. Because in the end, if the guy doesn't want to participate, he won't, regardless. Child support can't make him do it. I've seen guys go to prison and be like, I'm still not gonna pay it, or they'll pay their piece and then get out and then don't pay it again, right? So you can't make him be a father through that. A father is going to be a father no matter if he's in child support or not. I just feel like it's a piece, like you said, that fractures the black structure. Period.
So
it fractures him once he goes on with his life. Period.
Yo, so how did we get here? Like in NCL case, and I don't want to make this about her, but it was through a divorce. But a lot of these other cases, like, you know, we got the better baby mama, got the no good baby father. You feel me? Like it's so many ways that it get to this point. You feel me? And I think it just gotta be we gotta figure out a way that we can make this shit work without using C words and bringing white people involved in it. Because it's like, they're not here to help. You feel me? So they saying that child support was made to, was brought upon to build the family structure. This is their words. You feel me? How this
Man, y'all can hear my bad. Y'all may have my mic muted and shit. My bad. I'm gonna go back a little bit and I know y'all heard the video, so we don't keep going. Fuck, I ain't got time right now anyway. So what's gonna happen is, man. 1 second. There we go.
This is how they worded. How they looked at it. They looked at it like if one parent leave, basically y'all just said if one parent leave and they bearing the responsibilities to raising the child, you feel me? They want that child to still be able to have both them incomes.
Right.
Like it sounds good, but when you start peeling back the layers and you start looking at the numbers of what it's really doing our community, it's like, yo, hold up, like is this shit even worth it?
Right.
You feel me?
I do.
So
I don't feel you though. Like I don't feel you. My thing is if as a man you give somebody your word that you're gonna do something and you don't, you're the reason why the system is in your fucking business. Now I understand you give your words and you just can't, or it's just not working out. But some niggas get their words and just don't. So that's what
I agree with her on that too, because some niggas will say they're gonna. Cause I mean, my niece, I seen it happen all the time. Pop say they gonna come pick him up, and they be sitting out there waiting on that nigga though. That's the part that make me mad. They be sitting out there waiting on him, and they don't pick up. It don't be the part that he don't pick up. It be the look in their face. You know what I'm saying? The disappointment, the resentment and stuff like that. You know what I mean? See, with resentment, that make a kid hate you. And that's the worst thing you get, because you living to get old, and when you get old, you want somebody to take care of you. You know what I mean? So with that being said, man, we got to think about that before we get to a point to where we need somebody and ain't nobody gonna be there. Cause you know what I'm saying? The saddest thing right now, man, is for a person to have a child and not be able to see him. Not because he can't see him, it's just because he won't do the right thing.
Other people involved. Now me, even on my personal show, I don't bash anywhere I go. Period. My thing is, okay, you couldn't make it this time. He still needs that. So whether you pay this month or next month and months after that, he still needs what belongs to him. Because when you pay for karate, when you pay for soccer and baseball, all that shit counts. So why is it fair that he has to go without because you're not out here on your grind? I have one child. One. So and my ex-husband, he has one child. So which is why you pay do what you need to do. And be mindful that my child support is only $100 a week. So why are we fighting?
Right.
Look, in 2014, let me say this before we go on. In 2014, 16.3 million kids, children was getting child support. Their parents was getting child support for the children. 16.3 million kids. That's nearly 1 in 4 kids. Like yo, the numbers is crazy. You feel me? And then it's like when I was looking this shit up, right? They don't even have like accurate data. Like the data is all backdated from like 5 years ago. So it's like they not even, the census is not even steady being on top of what's really going on with the system. Why is that? Like it's like they just put this shit in place to sort of
You start with a family dynamic. You start with a father structure. If you can't be a dad, you know what I'm saying? You lay down. You knew it come with when you was laying down with somebody. So it's like
okay, there we go.
How you saying that where it could start when it start with y'all?
My brother asked me to do this show. Told you y'all My brother asked me to do this show. I said, one of them gonna say that.
Right.
And here's the thing.
But again, hold on. Let's go back to statistics.
No, wait. What's the thing?
Wait a minute. I just want to bring a stat.
Okay.
Child support is less than 25% of the income, so why you can't pay it? But continue.
Here's the thing. Y'all are asking boys to do men things.
Okay.
Let a boy be a boy. Chase a boy. You're chasing a boy by trying to put somebody to make him do this, make him. He ain't gonna do it. You don't see.
Hey, bro, I think your hand covering the mic.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's like it sounds good. Then it goes.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Oh hell yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. All right, so it's asking a boy to do man things, right? And I understand he laid down and all of that, but you laid down with him too. So when you laid down with him and y'all decided to kiss baby, you know, as a mother, no matter what man do, as a mother, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not saying nobody on here not, feel me? I'm just saying as a mother, you gotta do what you gotta do. You can't make him do nothing. Later on down in life, it's gonna be a man that you're gonna need, and that's gonna love you for you, and that's gonna be there for your child unconditionally. You feel me? And that's not even his child. You feel me? But you gotta get there. You gotta find that. No, it's not gonna happen overnight or none of that. But don't chase boys. You gotta suffer too. I don't care, whatever. But that's not, you know. So don't even have that. Yeah. I wouldn't even give up that energy. You feel what I'm saying? I got 3 kids now, 3 daughters.
That's stupid as hell.
What's
so?
stupid?
And I'm not trying to disrespect you. No. You good? You not disrespecting me. And it is the conversation, but a boy becomes a man when he becomes a father. You know,
I don't know about that.
No. Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Do your thing.
All right. Say what you gotta say, but
let me speak my piece.
I don't know about that one. Boy, come a man.
Guess what? I was a girl, then I had a baby. Now I'm a woman. So you're saying that it's okay for him not to be held accountable because he doesn't want to be. At some point, you have to be held accountable, period. You know what I'm saying? If he gonna be nothing ass nigga, he's gonna be nothing too. Right? But if I'm nothing ass mom, guess what? Other moms is gonna drag me, other niggas is gonna drag me. You said that a woman got to be a woman regardless. She has to be a woman if she pushed that baby out. But why don't you have to be a man because you're a man if you help me make this baby? That don't make no sense.
In the end, right? And it could go deep, right? It could go super deep. Go deep because out there. Okay, I'm put it to you this way. When little girls are born, they're trained to be mothers.
Y'all give me one second.
You get a baby doll as soon as you turn 2, 1. You trained to be a mother. A little boy is trained to just be a little boy.
No, he's
a little girl. I got 4 daughters right now.
Dad.
But nobody.
We don't learn. Like it's not that simple with us.
But y'all know not okay, right? You do understand that's not okay.
Yeah,
so
that's the part that I try to understand.
Right.
That, like mentally, that's not okay.
I don't. give a fuck who raised you. It doesn't make it okay for you not to be prepared to hold yourself accountable when you bring somebody else here. I don't give a fuck who didn't teach you. It's some that's mom was a crackhead that had no nurturing experience, but she has the same expectation to be a mother who never got a baby doll. But you go ahead, y'all got it.
What about let me bring this into the scenario. What about these situations where the guy and the female had a child, right? But the guy.
Man, see, it's starting to make me mad now.
I tell the female, I don't want to have, I don't kids.
Okay, see, then she choosing. That's what, you know.
Yeah, she's choosing.
She chose
okay,
that.
so when she chooses that, it's hard for taking this man down.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, yeah.
Wait a minute, so you're not choosing to have a baby whether the man is there or not. You're still choosing it regardless whether the man is there or not.
Right.
But
take the team up.
But that doesn't
because hear me out. We can't stop y'all if y'all decide to go get an abortion. And if I want to keep the baby and you don't, I can't stop that. It's your body. You're gonna do what you want to do with your body. I can't control it.
yeah.
So it's double-sided.
Yeah, it's like we.
She left, I was left with my child. Right? I sent her home for a weekend. She got mad I got engaged, and now she won't give her back. So now I gotta take her to court.
Oh, we back on.
With my child to get her back. Right? But in the beginning, I love this girl, but I didn't want to have a baby.
money. They getting all this money, and they ain't doing shit to help the kids, man. That's what I don't understand. They get all this money, and they ain't doing shit to help the kids, man. So what's the purpose of it? They get all this money. Yeah, man, I just had to check and make sure my sound back on. My folks had hit me up. So if you want to join the chat, man, I already had pinned it in the link, man. Y'all hit the link, man. Join the live. I just had it pinned. If I need to pin it back up, I will. Matter of fact, off of the start, so it'll already stay up there. And just click on it. Click on it to bring you straight to the live, man. What up, Bo? You get the link yet, bro? I should be able to add you, but I don't see my thing. I'm trying to do it. Just hit the link on the rescreen, and I'll be able to hit you up. It's in the chat somewhere. Just click on the link in the chat, man, if you want to join the live, speak your piece, say what's on your mind. And we can make it happen. Let me change it to where I can see everybody when they pop up. I'll change my screen and shit. Give me a second, y'all. Back on. There we go. We back now. That's what I wanted to see right there. So when y'all call in, I can see who on the line, man. But until the end, man, I'm gonna get back into the video.
Because you know, they don't get all the money. No, they
that's why I was like, they split the money like they take.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah. All right.
It's deeper. That's why they'll lock you up and then they'll hold you until your bail will be how much you owe for child support.
Yes, it will.
And you know what that does? Because that's something I was reading earlier. You know, because when you get put in them situations, you gotta pay that bail before you get out. So now families, that's your mother and your grandmother and your sisters and brothers, they gotta put up money to get you out. And what that does, that keeps the family structure down even more.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
But if you was taking care of your business before, I must have paid $20 for 4 motherfucking kids. I still don't feel bad for you.
I don't think
the thing is this.
I mean,
in my opinion, man, let a dog.
I don't feel bad for him,
but it's gonna hurt him.
It's out because you want to roam. The year I got married, my ex-husband made $62,000, and I still agreed only $5,200 a year. If you do the math, that's $100 a week. So why is he on child support?
That's $100 a week.
What I'm saying is, why are we entitled for that?
Because it's your child. Hold on, time out. It ain't about you and her. You said it first. It ain't about you and her. Child support has nothing to do with the man and the woman. It's about the child. So before he say what he finna say that's gonna piss me off, the reason why you should have to pay is you're not taking care of the child. You're not doing it for her. Do it for the child. With that being said.
Because you still gotta live.
No, but no. Obviously, he don't. You got a kid. And I'm not trying to be smart or rude, but obviously he don't. You feel me? You got a kid. You feel me? He left. He said, fuck this, I'm gone.
He didn't. We agreed that we was having a divorce.
I'm not just speaking, you feel me, solely on you. I'm sorry, I don't want to, you feel me? I'm saying in general, that nigga gone.
Basically. He out of there.
You feel me?
You decided to leave, the kids still gotta live the fight together?
He don't
what
care.
The fuck does that even mean?
Why do you want somebody in your child life that don't care about?
Right.
You know what? And I'm gonna be real transparent with you because for me, I'll down talk him. I just say he don't take his financial part. Before he even got on child support, he was getting my baby every weekend. We were doing.
Oh, hold up, your baby. Yeah, that's another thing. See,
I didn't say what I was saying. That's the start. Right there. It's our baby.
He said, but I had accolades. He was picking them up from school when he wanted to. We were going on family outings. We were doing everything that we needed to do for our child. But for whatever reason, he was okay for doing everything as his father. But for every reason, that $100 was for me to have it just broke his little heart. And he don't want to pay it. So my question to y'all is, why do y'all feel like providing financial isn't necessary? He still got to have lights. He still got to have food. He still got to have clothes. He still got to have activities. So why are you defending providing from your child? Like, I don't understand it.
What do you think?
If the roles are reversed, if your baby live with his father for the year and you getting him on the weekend, are you going to pay his father the same money you want his father to pay you?
That's how it should be, though.
Child support is more than his child support. When you get a divorce, I don't know if you ever been married before, but his child support, because I made more money, his child support was $400 a month. My child support is almost $1,000 a month, and I would pay it because he deserves that. But I want my son to have all those things. I don't want him to miss.
Right. So that goes into you care, right? You don't care. You feel me?
So,
you don't care. And in the end, right?
So listen.
Just because you don't care don't mean your ass got to pay, Messiah. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand.
But you can't make somebody do something that don't care.
Listen, right? These are the methods of enforcement when a person don't pay their child support. Taking 65% of their wages, intercepting their tax returns, placing liens on parents' assets, suspending licenses. I
was just finna say that. How you expect the man to make money if he can't go to work? You know, if you suspend his license, 9 times out of 10 these days, the best job you got to drive. If I can't drive to and from work, how can I pay child support? That's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life.
In any other license, no CDLs, no HVAC license. Like, yo, this shit.
Why do we care? Some of these niggas paying $50, $20.
But when they can't afford it, he probably can't. The person is paying that much money, that lets you know they can't afford it.
They not getting no damn sick. I don't know no bitch that's getting 65% of nobody's wages.
Shit.
Up to 65%.
Yes, they do get 65% of your wages, and you don't get. They take it.
I done seen it.
Look, before I did this topic, I talked to my brother, and he make good money. And he said every time he got a $25 check.
A $25 check, man. What I'm going to work for?
Baby can't
$25 check. I ain't going to work for that.
Eat because you want to eat.
This is what I'm saying. I'm saying that whole
job. How does the baby eat if I don't eat?
Yeah, right. That's true.
But it's not when you have a child. Let's step back a second. When you have a child, it's no longer about you. It's about that child. It's many days that I didn't eat so I can make sure my child had daycare and food and everything he needs. It's not about you anymore. So if you're thinking about you come first before your child, you shouldn't even have that fucking child.
I can't.
I don't agree on that. No,
I gotta put the mask on my face before I can put the mask on my kid's face.
I don't agree with
that. But
that.
if she died today, you would still have to do it for that child.
I agree with that.
That's for sure.
If you the single parent, you'll have to do it. But see,
me myself,
her way of thinking just fucked up about it.
Today, you would do whatever you had to do to make sure that they had. But since you have
yeah, we take care of our kids.
I'm gonna do that.
This ain't even my show. Go ahead and talk.
Yeah, look. We take care of our kids. You feel me?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. What I'm saying is, I still gotta make sure that I'm the best me to be the best for them. I can't deprive myself. You feel what I'm saying? Now, if it comes down to it, right? If it's like I got hours and I got feed, of course I'm gonna feed them. But in the end, I still gotta make sure that my mind is good to be able to be the best I can be for them. Feel me?
So when you provide financially, you're full with her mind because now she's stressed. You know how many people children are abused by their mom because their mental health is fucked up because they don't have that support and they don't have help. It's deeper than money, in my opinion.
I understand that.
Want to focus on the financial, but if you don't have it mentally to give to them, and if all it takes is a little bit off her back, you're not willing to fuck up.
It is. No, I'm not justifying it. You feel me? Both sides are fucked up. I'm not justifying it. I don't know about you, but I'm not justifying it. I'm pretty sure you're not justifying it.
Right. I don't think he was trying to justify that, but
I feel like
her train of thought about the situation is kind of messed up, man. Because
honestly, it like she said,
if you don't have kids, right?
You ain't gotta get shot. You know that shit hurt.
So for you not having kids, right?
I'm not understanding.
Do you think it's important to really vet the person that you're dealing with? Because let me say this before you go. Because it's signs that you can see ahead of time to let you know what the person is about. So is that something that you keep in mind, doing like going into dating and shit like that?
Yeah, for me, I look at how you are. Okay, so there's 4 seasons. You look at somebody. Look at them how you are when they broke, when they happy, when they mad, and when they sad. And we don't do that. We just happen to. We have like in this mentality, we happen to it so quick that you don't know the person, and maybe you do, feel like you know the person, but you really have to vet who you having kids with. And I honestly, when I was with somebody, people was like, "Oh, I'm surprised you don't have a kid by now. We've been together for like 3 years. You don't have a kid." I'm like, because what I seen in those phases wasn't what I was looking for. So I'm not gonna subject myself to that, knowing that when it comes down to it, I'm gonna be stuck with a kid by myself. You ain't gonna come, So honestly, I feel like it starts from before you even have the kid. So y'all have to make sure that when it boils down to it and shit get down to it, you have to be able to trust that person and know you gonna come through when I need you to come through. If I can't trust you like that, then I can't have a kid with you.
That's deep. That's a fact, and I think
that's a good investment.
Yeah, I think a lot of people need to hear that. You feel me? Because the decision making plays a role, and accountability also play a role. Like, and it go for men and females. Like, you can see when a person ain't shit. So it shouldn't even get to this child support case, because you should have never even. Both of y'all should never even put yourself in that situation. But I have a problem when. Because a lot of this is a misconception. I'm gonna say a little situation I had. So when my first child was born, we wanted to get assistance, like medical assistance for my child, right? And I was always under the interpretation that in order for my child to receive assistance, then I would have to get put on child support. So I get a letter come to the house and say my name versus my girl name. I'm like, hold up, what the fuck is this? What, she taking me to child support? But look, nobody never came. I mean, we never went to the court date, and my child was still getting medical assistance. So I think that's a misconception that I think they told women that, in order for you to do this, you gotta take them down child support. But I don't even know if that's necessarily true.
I kind of think they did, because for welfare and Medicaid and man, they go through hell, bro. Just to get welfare to help yourself. I mean, even if the man is doing and he can't do what he needs to do to provide for himself. I mean, they take so many taxes from it. They should have programs to help us out on the back end. But yet and still, anytime the women go for assistance, the man has to go on support to be able to support. I know a man who pays $600, sometimes $700 for one kid. But then when it come down to it, he work all year and then turn around, can't carry his own child on his income taxes to make more money so he can be able to do more for the child. I don't think that's fair, but I'm not gonna get into that. I'll let them finish saying what they said.
No, you can deny it. You can deny it. I was telling you again when I finally.
A lot of people open to like that. A lot of people don't have the knowledge of that. Like my mom, in that instance, when she needed assistance for the kids, they do that, and I'm pretty sure she didn't know that you could deny it and still get assistance. She's looking at it as, I need this assistance now for my kids. So I don't.
They don't tell you can deny the assistance.
Go through whatever I have to go through for my kids. That's that mama cub. Like I gonna protect mine. And you know, maybe she did have the information that you just say. You know, maybe she was exposed to that information. She'd have probably like, okay, I ain't gonna go through it. I'll just get assistance either way. So it's all about what we exposed to, what information we have available to us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're 100% correct.
I guess that distance and say they don't know who their dad is just to protect the dad. And I feel like so many times we dodge the women that go on child support, but we don't never try to protect or shout out the women who don't. It sucks that they still have to struggle by themselves, but is that really fair that you have to do it by yourself, knowing that you didn't make that baby by yourself? Is my whole point.
No, go ahead.
Not to be rude, but life not fair.
Right, but that don't mean life means you don't gotta take care of your baby.
You're right. You're right. I don't even hang. You can't hang with me if you don't take care of your kids. Right? So I understand exactly what you're saying. Like I don't hang with nobody that don't take care of their kids. If you're not gonna take care of your kids, I can only imagine what you'll do to me.
It's a lot of people that do that. A lot of people hang with you, comfortable watching their friends not taking care of their kids and don't say shit about it.
It's true.
Your cousin, your uncle. We keeping that going. Like, I mean, like, you know, as a dude sense, y'all keeping that going. You comfortable seeing that happen and you ain't saying nothing? Come on now.
Yeah, that's a problem.
What about the argument, man? No, man, my girl, she on some bullshit, yo. She just want me back. What about that argument? You know, a lot of niggas will say that, like, man.
Nah, fuck that argument. What about the bitter baby daddies? Because it be some niggas that if you ain't fucking them every Friday when he get
they ain't doing shit for you. I know some niggas like that too, though. If you ain't fuck them, they ain't doing nothing for the baby. It's sad. It is so sad, man. I got a partner right now, man. He do everything he can for his little girl, but he still have a hard time. And man, I remember we was on the road. He used to drive out, catch the bus all the way across country just to go pick up his little daughter. He'd get there and couldn't even get the baby. I mean, it ain't just the women who going through these psychological change, the emotional change. It's the men too. I ain't gonna say no name. He know who I'm talking about, man. The things we go through as black men to see our kids and then still have to get out and fight with the government to basically be in their life because the way they got society set up these days, I don't think it's fair. But until we change it, it ain't gonna get no better. Talking about it ain't gonna do nothing.
See that money? He be hating on your ass too. Like these niggas be bitter too. These bitches ain't the only one that's bitter. No disrespect, but they be bitter too.
Oh, you right.
I wasn't gonna give. I was asking Messiah about that because we don't get them. We don't give that a pass. Like we ain't trying to hear that. You feel me? Like we take care of your kids over this motherfucker. Like
100%.
By
ask me the question again, though. Sorry.
I was saying that. You know the niggas that say, yo, she on some bullshit, yo, she ain't trying to let me see my child, and they just accept it.
Yeah, no, that's we not dealing with that. We don't tolerate that. You know, take it to court. You know, it only costs. I live in the state of Maryland. In the state of Maryland, it costs $120 or $120 to take it if you want to serve it yourself, and $160 if you want the sheriff to serve. I paid the $160. Go get it for me. You hear me? Like I take them to court.
Right.
Take them to court. It don't make you no less of a man. They gonna take you to court. They get the chance. Feel what I'm saying? And it really, in the end, with that court system back and forth with the women, it's all about who go first. Feel what I'm saying? Honestly.
Facts. You can go put yourself on child support and pay less, but at the same time, when you do that, be prepared for the consequences that will come with it. You know, because once you go down there and you sign that paper, people gonna be in your business. And most black people, we don't like people in our business, but at the same time, if somebody got to make you do it, that's on you, man, because you could have did it. It ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes women just call a man to see what they got going on. And you know what I mean? Some men pay child support and still can't see their kid. So what type of junk is that? And then when you do, let's say you got split custody, they call the police, they treat the man so wrong But it is a law that until custody is established, you don't have to get that child back. That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing because it's both of y'all child. So don't just think that because you're a man, you can't do nothing. Nah, you can get your child and you can do what you need to do to make sure your child is straight, as long as you got everything in order.
Speaking. So take her to court, man, and get your kid. Get your goddamn kid.
Why do you think dudes is not willing to go that route? And I think women know that and they kind of take advantage of that.
So a lot of dudes feel like it's a form of snitching, or feel like it's a form of working with the police or working with the man or working with or some of them just trying to get caught, period, from being locked up or whatever the case may be. You feel what I'm saying? And some of them just don't want to have to answer to the system or have the system in their business or whatever the case may be. And some of them aren't knowledgeable. Some of them feel like they're going to lose. Some of them don't know what to do, how to do, and don't have the guidance to do. So they just give up and be like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying?
And the worst thing we can do as men is give up, because, you know, all you got to do is ask questions. Just like women, they go find out things, we can go find out too, man. My dad always told me the only stupid question is the one you didn't ask. So if you want to find out something, man, don't feel stupid because you don't know. Let me go while I'm right here on this topic. Let me go right here real quick, man. We'll go to this one. Y'all give me a second. Matter of fact, let me go to Google real quick. Let me go Google. Matter of fact, I'm going to Chrome. Let's see. The definition of ignorant. The person get mad if you call them ignorant. But ignorant really just means not knowing. But I'm going to get your definition for you. Give me a second. Let this video play while I find what I'm looking for. Y'all give me one hot second.
These women choosing not to marry was not a simple choice, but more so a government tactic forcing them to choose between money and family. Another major change that may or may not have played a role in damaging the Black family was the transparency needed from government assistance recipients as time went on. Welfare and other assistance would be given to those that showed need, giving the government access to bank account information and essentially one's entire life to determine eligibility.
And the only way you can get welfare if the man is on child support. The only way she can get welfare is the man is on child support.
For the Black family, this would lead to a surge in improper spending and the trading of benefits for another. Selling of one's food stamps became popular in the 1980s and beyond, whether it be for cash or another benefit. With some families already receiving cash assistance on top of other benefits, the existence of these programs led some to try and find new ways to qualify in order to receive more money. While it is much more difficult today to have one government assistance program provide more money than one can make in a year, it is still very possible to combine programs to be able to provide everything a person would need. Possibly the biggest factor to consider when it comes to government assistance is how it spiked the rate of child support cases in the Black family. Once many of these women had gotten the man out of the house to receive their benefits, they realized quickly that this money, depending on how many children are present, would not be enough to sustain a home. Lawyers in the 1990s would even work pro bono on a case dealing with child support, giving these women more confidence in taking the father of their children to court and receiving more money. Courts notoriously gave men payment that were outlandish with penalties that would make it impossible for them to get the money needed. This action, unsurprisingly, would lead to an uptick in crimes committed by many Black men of the time. In a published paper by Harvard alum Fritz Foley, one can see the correlation between crime and welfare payments as the text reads. Analysis of daily reported incidents of major crimes in
because once you put a person in a situation where they got to get it, and it's a real father who does anything to take care of kids, but just so happen to be on child support, he'll do anything he have to do to get that money, no matter what. Jeopardize his freedom, train of thought, mentality, anything to make sure that the kid can provide. But at the end of the day, he's still going to be looked at as a deadbeat.
12 U.S. cities reveals an increase in crime over the course of monthly welfare payment cycles. The jump reflects increases in crime that are likely to have a direct financial motivation like burglary, larceny, theft, motor vehicle theft, and robbery. Taking into account the countless issues that come from having a record when it comes to making money, on top of systemic racism, especially in years past, one can see clearly how this assistance ruined the lives of many Black fathers and children at the very least, as their fathers would spend years in jail, and with the overwhelmingness of being a single parent, the children suffer as well in ways unimaginable. There can be debate about the reasoning behind certain decisions Black families made. However, the need for more assistance is clear. Families selling stamps for cash, fathers being kicked out of the homes, and caseworkers who acted as an extension of the government while breaking the law all played a role on how government assistance would affect Black people. The need for assistance is obvious.
But with inflation so high, and they give all these food stamps, they have plenty to eat, but can't put a roof over their head. So yes, they're gonna sell the food stamp, but the way they set it up now, and if you sell food stamp to provide for that child, it's against the law. So how is food stamps really helping the Black community?
Yes, especially in the present as a recession looms over society. Nevertheless, it is clear that there are major issues with government assistance that have plagued Black families for decades. If assistance is given to elevate a person in order to help them become more independent, one should ask themselves if this seems like the case when it comes to Black people. With a history of struggle and suffering despite this help, it may not be a foregone conclusion that assistance ruined the Black family, but many can argue it did little to help, as Black families today see nearly half of their homes without a father and are still financially trying to catch up in society. Stay up to date with the latest news in comedy, music, and sports by subscribing here to our...
Yeah, man, with that being said, man, it's just crazy. It's crazy how that they turned us against each other in the home and wonder why we can't get along in the street. It started at home because most of us grew up seeing mom and daddy fight. You know, the struggle was more time than not about the income. It wasn't about, a lot of situations. It was the income because a lot of us didn't have, and when we didn't have, that's when the problem came. People started doing anything. And being there was so much racism back then, like me, I ain't gonna blame it on slavery because, the white people never did nothing to me and my family, but they did it to my ancestors. That's going back to what I said earlier. It's generational curses that we have to break, starting with us. And as men, we got to stand up on that. You know what I mean? Everybody how they 100 and they real and all that, but when they'd rather take care of somebody else's kids before they take care of their own. That's where it starts at. When we start building our Black home, Black communities, Black banks, Black churches back up, then we'll be a force to be reckoned with. Because, it's power in numbers, and the Black people have a lot of numbers, but we're so divided. One thing I love about the American motto is united we stand, divided we fall. And that's what they did. They started in the Black households. That's why the Black men don't treat the women like queens no more. That's why the Black women don't treat men like kings, and the Black kings don't treat the women like queens, because coming up, they didn't even see or can't even fathom how this thing worked, And then once we start to respect each other, see, that's the number one thing. All the respect is gone. Everybody want to be their own person, but first you got to learn how to love yourself before you can learn anybody else. The word community done left. It ain't communities no more. It's just the hood. It's a difference between those two words, but they all, what it is a pseudonym. Two words that mean the same, but spelled differently. I think that's what it is. But anyway, if somebody hit me up in the comment, let me know. But yeah, man, if y'all like to comment, like, share, and subscribe at my YouTube page, Bama Black. Hit me up on YouTube. You'll see my thing on Artists Against Violence, man. Hit that notification bell so every time I go live, man, you can get the message, man. Until next time, I'm out.